Good morning, and welcome to the first episode of Living Intentionally with Carmen Benton, who is me, your host. I am an intuitive coach and energy healer, and I help women find balance and happiness. When I say this is the first official episode, is because I have recorded other episodes before I came up with the actual name for the podcast, and they were very good. So I'm going to include them in the season as bonus episodes. Today, we're going to be talking about stop living in autopilot and start living intentionally. But before we start talking about that, I want to make sure you understand what it really means to live intentionally and why does it even matter. The reason I can't stop talking about the subject is because it has transformed my life. Like most of you, my 20s, my 30s, and most of my 40s, I'm 47 if you're asking, were just busy. I was just going to school, getting two engineering degrees, getting a master's in business administration, starting to climb the corporate ladder, getting married, having kids, getting divorced, etc., paying mortgage, buying stuff. It was just exhausting and busy. But I thought that being an adult meant to be exhausted and busy. However, deep down inside me, there was a voice that, keep kind of like telling me that, maybe there's another way. And I kind of heard it, but I didn't have the time or the energy or the tools to listen and to act upon that voice because, quite frankly, I was just trying to keep my head above water and survive. Talking about being in a survival mode. Who can relate to that? Just let me know in the comments if you ever felt like you're just drowning trying to keep up with all the demands life has put on us. So now it's story time. This is my story about living in autopilot. As a corporate executive and mom of three, I'm also a stepmom of five. To say that my life was a go, go, go is an understatement. I always felt like I was falling behind. It didn't matter how hard I tried, I was too busy to pay attention to that annoying voice that I was talking about earlier, that was trying to tell me that there was more to life. It had to be more to life. So I shut it down. I decided to not listen to it and numb myself by keeping my eyes on the prize. And the prize that I was going for was the vice president title and the corner office. Coming from a middle class family, having and doing more was what I thought was the secret to success. But it wasn't quite working because the more I got, the more goals that I achieved, the more goals I had to set for myself, the more I had to do to keep going in this exhausting dopamine reward cycle. And it didn't matter how much I got, what accomplishments I had, I was feeling empty inside every day, like I wasn't even there. In moments of desperation, I started to ask myself, do I really need this life? Do I really need to make all this money? Do I really need to be a vice president? Do I really need the corner office? Do I really need, a big house, a nice car, and all this travel? I didn't know what I really needed, what I really wanted, who I wanted to be, or what do I want to do with my life. But every time the answers to these questions started to bubble up the surface, I shut them down because it was really uncomfortable. So I got myself busy and I pretended that none of that was happening. To be 100% honest with you, I often daydream about being someone else. It never occurred to me that I didn't need to be someone else. I just needed to do something else. I need to wake up and start living intentionally. Looking back, I was getting all kind of signs. I had all the signs of burnout clearly displayed in my life. I have the physical signs, migraines on the daily. I had rashes on my body, like hives everywhere. I couldn't sleep. My brain couldn't shut off. I have all kind of emotional burnout signs. I just couldn't connect with people in the way I wanted. I was just shutting down the world and keep putting my blinders, doing the one thing I kind of knew how to do, which was my job, and really not intentionally in autopilot, disconnecting from everything else. I had signs that my relationships were crumbling, and I'm not talking just my romantic relationships, but also my relationships with the people that I love the most, my children. I had all kind of societal burnout signs where I didn't want to hang out with people. I didn't want to hang out with friends. It was exhausting to go out and have, normal interactions with people. I didn't have time for that. And spiritually speaking, I was totally disconnected from all my religion's background, from all spirituality. The problem with burnout is that every decision you make in your life, the big ones and the small ones, are based on not what you want to accomplish, but based on the lenses that you're putting right now, and they are conditioned by how you feel. So when your judgment is blurred by exhaustion, by just being depleted, by just trying to survive, the decisions that you make in your life are nothing but poor decisions. And so at every moment, you have the power to change that. And that's really when my life changed. When I said, I'm going to stop living in autopilot and I'm going to start living intentionally. And knowing that I can control my thoughts, I can control my emotions, I can make decisions based on a state of mind that is not confused by how I feel right now. That power, it's so transformational. And you will see how your life will change when you can embrace that. So let's start talking about what is to live intentionally. By definition, living intentionally is asking yourself why you do all the things that you do. I mean, that's simple. Intentionally engaging with people. So, why are you friends with the friends that you have? Why do you buy the things that you buy? Why did you choose the career? Why do you have the job that you have? Why are you with your current partner? Why in your current relationship? What do you want to do with your life? Why do you work so much? There are all these questions that you can ask yourself so you can examine where you are, no judgment, not shaming, just to start with your, starting point, and so you can move forward. Living intentionally is not about having it all figured out. Absolutely not. Living intentionally means to have a purpose behind your actions. And I'm going to talk about purpose on the episode that is coming February 22nd with a very, very special guest. You're really going to love that episode with just Master Healer Fatu Pruitt. So you're going to know that living intentionally is not about knowing exactly what your next step is, but understanding that you have the freedom to choose the direction of your life. And when you understand you have that freedom, then it's really not important if you take a left or right with your next step, but that directionally speaking, you're going towards your purpose in life. Living intentionally means knowing that your failures, the lessons that you have in life, serve a purpose. And I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, and this is not lip singing, that every horrible thing that has happened to me had a lesson that I needed to learn. And one of my new favorite words is the word paranoia, which is the opposite of paranoia. Pronoia really means that the universe is conspiring in your favor. And when you know that the universe has your back, and this is really the case, there's no bad days. There's no bad experiences. There's no bad lessons because everything is happening for you. And I know it's scary and I know it could be messy, but I also know the only way to achieve everything you want in life is by stop complying with the laws of society and the shoots and the rules that have been imposed by people that are so wounded, like we all are, and start living intentionally today. It's like I did. I took the leap of faith last November and I quit my multiple six-figure corporate job because it wasn't my purpose to be there. My purpose is to be here where I can guide you to start living intentionally. It was scary. It was really scary because it was beyond certainty. But this is why everybody needs a coach, because all the amazing things in life are not in your comfort zone. The things that are amazing waiting for you, even finding balance in your current career, finding love in your relationships, finding everything you want, is not in your comfort zone. You have to step out of that, but you won't be able to do it alone, or you would have done it already. So, how do you start living intentionally? There's four ways, four tips that I'm going to share with you today. Number one, you start with your core values and your beliefs. This is a tricky one because everyone has different core values and there's no right or wrong answer to what these are. So you really need to start looking deep inside yourself as of what are the things that make you happy? What are the things that make you proud? What are the things that disturb you? Because if they make you happy, it means that they are supporting your core values. If they disrupt you, if they make you feel yucky, it's because they violated your core values. And it goes with your beliefs. But what you need to understand is that these beliefs are ruling your life today were programming your brain when you were in grade school. So something around, 5 to 10 years old. They are old. And yes, they were established programming your brain because you needed them back then. And they probably saved your life and they probably kept you going forward, but they are outdated. And so here's a basic example about upgrading things. Are you still driving the car that you drove in high school or college? I hope not. It's probably pretty old. I was counting and I have upgraded my car 7 times since college. 7 times, which makes sense because that was almost 30 years ago. And, you change your car every 4 years. So, yeah, 7 times 4, 28. And so we spend money upgrading cars. We spend money upgrading clothes. We spend money upgrading house and, the things you eat and your shoes, etc., right? When is the last time you spend money upgrading your thoughts, right? Your thoughts, which produce your emotion and dictate your actions and are 100% related to the outcome in your life, need to be upgraded every so often. And you probably have not updated your thoughts, your belief system, your rules, and your stories since you were in grade school. The things that happened to you back then are still defining how you show up to the world today. And that's what's keeping you stuck. And this is why you need to find someone who can help you understand what are the pattern of the thoughts that you have today. Awareness is the first step to recovery and to success in any way or fashion, right? What are things that you're doing today and how they are directly showing up into your actions and to your results. And so I invite you to join me in a complimentary consult where I will show you exactly your thought process and what thoughts are ruling your life. And I'm going to give you the exact tools and keys that you need to interrupt, replace, and upgrade those thoughts so you can actually get the balance, get the happiness, get the promotion, get everything you want. And it's not a sales pitch, I promise. If you would like me to work with you, then we'll talk about it. But my intention for that call is simply to bring awareness to you with the thoughts that you have and give you the tools so you can upgrade them. So make sure you schedule that. The link is somewhere in this screen. So the second thing that you have to do to start living intentionally is to own your shit. Okay, I'll say it a little more politically correct. You need to take responsibility for your life, right? You need to start accepting that you have the power to change everything and stop living in that victim mentality where, you're part of the if only club. If only I will have a better job, I'll be happy. If only I will get that promotion, I'll be happy. If only my husband will treat me better, I'll be happy. If only I can go on a date, I will be happy. If only my children will respect me, I'll be happy. If only I had $1 million, I'll be happy. Bullshit. You won't be happy. Trust me. Because if you cannot be happy right now with what you have, you won't be happy later either. And so being able to recognize that you have the power at every second in the now to change that is so amazing. And it really only takes three things. Ready? You choose better thoughts, you proactively manage your emotions, and you protect your energy. Those are the three things you have to do to accomplish whatever you want in life. And I'm talking whatever you want in life. Because living intentionally is about shutting down the expectations and the old patterns and the old rules that we all have been living by that don't apply anymore, and being authentic to yourself, making better priorities, and really going for what you want. Everything you want is waiting for you there. Do you know that the moment that you actually have an idea and a desire, coming to your mind is the first stage of the manifestation. And the only reason you actually can grasp that idea is because it exists somewhere in the quantum field already waiting for you. So all you have to do is to get your shit together and go get it. But for that, you need to change your thoughts, you need to manage your emotions, and you need to protect your energy. So the number 3 thing that you have to do to start living intentionally is to live by intuition. And I can talk for hours about intuition. Intuition actually has saved my life. But I'm going to tell you more about that on the next episode when I'm going to have a guest. She is an intuitive coach also, and she empowers women, empowers mom. And her name is Kelly Femwright. And that's going to be on Wednesday. So instead of ruining that, you need to come back for intuition. So number 4 is it is a continuous process. You need to get that in your head, right? A lot of people say, well, it will take me forever. What if it takes you forever? But guess what? The work is never going to be done. You can always be better every day, every day, every day. But the key is, like one of my mentors says, Mandy Morris, 1% better every day. There's not a race. There's not a finish line. There's no competition. This is a journey of growth, of empowerment, of enlightenment. And by recognizing that you can every day improve your life, just reach for a little higher vibration, do something a little scarier, replace one thought, change one rule, change the story, snap a belief, pull out a root, do something better, feel better every day, 1%. Before you know it, your life would have transformed in front of your eyes. That's what happened to me. I cannot recognize my life a year ago. I wouldn't even dream. If you tell me what you're going to be doing a year from now, 2022 in February, I would have said the same thing I'm doing now. And I'm not. My life is so much richer, delicious, exciting, successful in so many different ways than it was ever before. So now that I have shared with you what living intentionally is, and hopefully have enticed you to want to stop living in autopilot, this is so exciting because we're going to build upon all these concepts through the different episodes and seasons of the show. So I'm so excited for you. And for me, this right now, this life feels like I'm living authentically and living intentionally. So if you're old enough to get this reference, let me know in the comments. But it's time to take the red pill. It is time to take the red pill. So I'm gonna give someone a prize if you tell me what that reference means. But you need to take the leap of faith. You cannot spend another day in your life just going on the motions, surviving, depleted, exhausted, tired, burned out. And quite frankly, with the way we live this life, if you're not burned out already, you're probably on the way to burn out. So let's stop that. Let's jump on a consult call. Complimentary. It's free. And in this call, this is exactly what you're going to get. I'm going to tell you what are the pitfalls that are contributing to the life that you have today. When you understand that your thoughts create your emotions, they influence your actions, and they produce results, you know that everything is here in your thoughts. So many of these thoughts are not obvious to you because they are programmed in your subconscious mind. It's called subconscious because you are not aware of them. But I am trained and qualified to point them out to you so you can gain awareness of the things that you're telling yourself about neutral situations. So that's the first thing you're going to get. The second thing you're going to get is you're going to get a clear vision of what your life is going to look like when you switch the script of your thoughts. Third thing you're going to get is I'm going to give you clear action steps so you can flip that script. I'm not going to hold anything back. I'm going to coach my heart out in this session so you can actually walk away with a blueprint and action steps on how to change your life. And the last thing is if and only if you are interested in continuing a relationship and working with me, then we'll talk about it. Otherwise, you'll have the steps to change your life. So the link for that complimentary consult is somewhere here. So find it. I love you, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.